Hello ladies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So one of you ladies had asked me a wonderful question and brought up a very great topic on femininity, speech, tones, behaviors to avoid. And I have not been on YouTube in quite a minute. And of course, I can only blame myself, but I really try to stay where my audience is most interactive and engaged with my content. Of course, I need to be more on here in order to go more in depth on the topics that I speak about. So I thought that this was a really great question to turn into a YouTube video. So hopefully I can kind of transition onto YouTube now and grow more authentically here. Nonetheless, thank you so much for all of your amazing questions. So, femininity, speech, tones, things to avoid. I have written down a list of tips that I want to give to you and bring attention to, so that way you can hopefully work on these tips, keep them in your mind, in your back pocket, even in your journal, write them down. Just become really self-aware of these tips. Remember that this is going to be a practice. This is going to be a practice to incorporate all of these speech tips. Because if you've been trained one way your whole life, if you've been in an environment where people kind of just had really poor communication habits, they had profanity thrown around, they had a lot of fights and arguments, just really toxic behaviors, then you probably have picked up on all of those behaviors. And it's going to be a long journey to relearn all of this in your brain and kind of perfect these new skills of communicating and speaking to other people. So just give yourself a lot of patience and compassion in this journey, because it is a long process that does require time and a lot of mindfulness. Okay, so that is what I'm going to say about that. So my first tip is avoiding slangs. Ladies, slangs such as salty, bye Felicia, it's lit, all of these pop culture slangs that you hear as the new terminology in culture. It is just not a classy way of communicating. It shows a poor choice of vocabulary, and that your vocabulary is not really expanded. And it simply shows a lack of class. So not much else to say about that. Okay, next tip I have for you is enunciate and pronounce. Yes, you need to be enunciating your words, pronouncing them correctly, pronouncing them clearly so that other people can understand you when you take the time to enunciate your words and even use grammar when necessary. You are showing other people that you are more well-read, well-rounded, and well-cultured. Expand your vocabulary with your choice of diction. It just shows that you are so well-rounded, well-read, well-cultured, and well-educated. You will exude so much class, and people are going to assume that you are of a certain stature. This brings me to my next point, and that is slow down. Now, feminine energy is very slow moving, very graceful. She takes her time. When you are speaking too fast, one, people cannot really understand you very well. It is much harder to catch on to words and conversation. Two, you energetically show that you feel very rushed. The conversation is very rushed. Maybe you are signaling that you don't have a lot of time to be in conversation with the other person. Even if you do not have much time to be in conversation with someone, just make sure that you are speaking your words more slowly so that you come across not so anxious, not so maybe crazy, because some people that speak really, really fast and just spit out words, they can kind of come across as if they are on substances. Okay, you understand what I mean. And that is just not something that you want other people to assume about you. So make sure that you are slowing down your speech so that the other person can feel at ease being in a conversation with you. I have this huge ring light around me right now, and it just feels so unnatural because I'm talking and I'm looking at myself while speaking and not posing. um, every time I've had a ring light around me like this, like I'm usually posing and doing a bunch of different things with my hips and my hands for modeling. So it just feels so weird and unnatural. So forgive me if I'm not delivering everything in the manner that I wish to, but I think you get my overall message. Okay, next tip that I want to mention, and this is the biggest tip that I want to stress to you to stop doing. That is cursing, profanity. Please avoid using profanity. It just automatically cheapens you as a feminine lady when you start throwing out curse words left and right, especially when you are in conversation with a guy. He will automatically throw you into the category of one of the bros if you start throwing out a bunch of curse words. Trust me, men of stature, they don't like that. I have heard it many times for myself. Men who have success say that it cheapens a woman when she throws her curse words around like it doesn't mean anything. It shows a lack of vocabulary, it instantly cheapens you, and it comes off very aggressive and like you have no emotional control or intelligence. And who wants to be known for that? So, ladies, if you feel more inclined to curse around certain people in your circle, remove those people out of your life, because if they are doing a lot of cursing, chances are you will also pick up on a lot of those words and behaviors. It's just not a classy thing to do. You could be wearing the most elegant dress in the room, like this. Isn't this dress so beautiful? But if I started to throw in curse words all around in every other word in my sentence, then I don't look so classy anymore. So please just practice on avoiding profanity, tones, and speaking softly, using aggression, violence, and then on top of that, raising your voice, maybe even throwing that profanity in there, is completely the opposite of feminine. You don't have to get your point across just simply by raising your voice or being aggressively toned. Remember this saying, money talks and wealth whispers? I promise you, people will be able to hear you louder and more clearly whenever you deliver your message softly and delicately. People don't want to hear demanding tones from anyone, but especially from a beautiful feminine woman like yourself. Even if you have a more raspy voice, you don't have to deliver your message so roughly. Now, with that, I want to throw in there whispering is also not a good thing to do, where people cannot understand what you're saying because you're speaking so softly. I have been working in a bar for many, many years, and during all of that time, I can't tell you the amount of people I have encountered where I had to keep asking them, sorry, what was that? Can you repeat that for me? Because I can't understand you in a bar full of other people and there's music playing because they're just literally whispering their order to me. And it is extremely frustrating. Nobody wants to really deal with that. That's all I have to say about that. Next tip, watch what you speak about. Not everyone needs to know all of your insecurities, all of your life's problems, all of the family matters. Maybe if someone in your family got sick, not everyone needs to know that. Not social media. They don't need to know if you hate the way that your body looks or that you've gained weight or that your nose is crooked. They don't need to know that. The cashier at the grocery market also does not need to know if your butt was not looking plump enough this week. Okay, you get my point. But you're just, you're really kind of blatantly using your insecurities to throw in someone's face as a defense mechanism because you're showing that you can't really receive a compliment and accept it. It doesn't feel comfortable and natural to you. And it's almost like you want to throw out your insecurities before other people can notice because you already noticed. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you turn on the TV and the news, all you see is negativity, all the problems that are happening in the world, everybody that's living in fear. So the last thing that you want to do when you step out and decide to have casual conversation with someone is speak about all the negative things in your life or even in the world. People just don't want to hear more negativity. We don't need to be drowned with more negativity already as it is. So just make sure that you are keeping it cool, calm, collected, and mostly all positivity. Throw a compliment to someone. Don't complain about little things that probably don't even matter. Last point that I would like to mention is cell phone usage. Ladies, when someone is speaking to you, especially at a dinner table, there's nothing more rude than pulling out a cell phone, scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, and completely blocking out whatever someone is trying to tell you. It's very rude to have a cell phone anywhere in public. But when you are, especially in conversation with your friends and your family, you need to really prioritize that time as quality time and time away from the internet. So put away the cell phone, show that you are engaged with the other person, show that you care about what they're speaking to you about, and show that you ultimately have self-respect and respect for other people so that you can put away the cell phone and tune into the real world. So that is all the tips that I have for you today. Thank you so much for even asking that question. Thank you for being here. You guys know the drill. If you have any questions or suggestions for a video, make sure you leave it down below. Or, of course, on my Instagram, which I am daily active on my Instagram stories. I always give answers, advice, all of that good stuff for you ladies. And I love the engagement that you give to me. And I just want to give it all right back to you. So I will link all of those links in the description bar. Also, I'm going to announce here, once again, on my YouTube, that I am doing a Valentine's Day dating boot camp with Emily, also known as Your French BFF, and we are doing a live coaching session on Valentine's Day to give you so much knowledge and tips on dating and attracting. So it is going to be so much fun to be with you on this Valentine's Day. Emily always does such wonderful coaching sessions because she's so organized and she's so articulate in with planning this whole group organization. So I'm so excited that she asked me to be a part of this, and I absolutely love teaching and love coaching. So please make sure that you go check that out, sign up. I do have a discount code. Please do use my code, and I really, really hope to see you guys there.